Let's start at the very top with the big bosses. The O5 Council, also called the Overseers, or the O5 Command. These are the 13 most powerful people in the entire Foundation. And when I say powerful, I mean these guys can authorize the termination of entire sites, approve the use of world-ending SCPs, and basically play God without the messy resurrection part. Nobody knows their real identities. They use code names, numbers, and enough secrecy to make the Illuminati look like a Facebook group. O5-1 through O5-13, each with their own specialties, personalities, and probably enough trauma to fill a therapy center. Some might be ancient wizards, others could be AI constructs, and one might literally be a cat. These folks make the big decisions. Should we nuke that facility? Approved. Should we let that researcher test if SCP-682 can be killed with aggressive kindness? Denied, obviously. They're the ultimate authority, and their word is law. Cross them and you'll find yourself reclassified as D-Class faster than you can say ethical concerns. Now let's talk about the Foundation's Special Forces, Mobile Task Forces, or MTFs. These are specialized teams deployed for specific missions, and they're basically the Foundation's answer to, we need someone to handle this mess. There are dozens of MTF units, each with a designation and a cool nickname. You've got MTF Epsilon 11 Nine-Tailed Fox, who handle breaches and retrievals. MTF Nu 7 Hammer Down, a literal battalion for dealing with large-scale threats. MTF Beta 7 Maz Hatters, who specialize in biological and chemical hazards. The list goes on. Each MTF is commanded by a task force commander who reports to site directors or directly to the O5 Council, depending on the mission. These teams are the elite. They're trained for everything from urban warfare to fighting interdimensional horrors, and they probably have the best health insurance in the Foundation. They'd need it. MTFs recruit from military backgrounds, Foundation security, and sometimes pull exceptional researchers into the field. If you're in an MTF, you're either incredibly skilled or incredibly unlucky. Possibly both. The backbone of the Foundation. Got site directors. These are the people actually running individual Foundation facilities. And let me tell you, that's like being a mall manager, except the stores occasionally breach containment and try to end the world. Each site director is responsible for their facility's operations, personnel, contained SCPs, and making sure nobody accidentally releases the flesh-eating bacteria stored in Sublevel 3. They report to the O5 Council, manage department heads, and have the authority to initiate lockdowns, terminations, and probably need therapy. Site directors are usually seasoned Foundation personnel who've seen some stuff. And by seen some stuff, I mean they've probably watched reality collapse a few times and had to file paperwork about it. They're tough, competent, and have enough clearance to know exactly how doomed we all are. Fun job. Let's give it up for the people with guns keeping everything from falling apart. Security personnel are the guards, tactical officers, and armed responders at every Foundation site. Standard security officers are your everyday guards. They patrol, monitor cameras, check IDs, and are the first line of defense during breaches. They're trained for combat, but also need to know protocols for hundreds of different SCPs. It's like being a security guard, except the shoplifter might be a reality-bending demon. Tactical response officers are the site's heavy hitters. Better armed, better trained, and deployed when things go really wrong. They coordinate with MTFs and can handle serious threats. Then you've got specialized security for specific SCPs. The guys watching SCP-173 who have to work in pairs because blinking is suddenly a liability. The poor souls assigned to SCP-682 who know their job is basically delay the inevitable. These folks don't get enough credit. They're standing between humanity and annihilation for a government paycheck and probably PTSD. Respect. And at the very bottom, we have D-Class, the expendable personnel. These are people convicted of serious crimes who've been recruited by the Foundation for testing purposes. They're given an orange jumpsuit, a number, and a life expectancy measured in experiments rather than years. D-Class are used to test potentially dangerous SCPs, enter hazardous environments, and basically do anything too risky for valuable personnel. The official policy is they're terminated at the end of each month, though some survive longer depending on the canon and the facility's specific protocols. Are they treated ethically? Not even slightly. Is it horrifying? Absolutely. But the Foundation's philosophy is that sacrificing the few, even unwillingly, protects the many. It's dark, it's morally questionable, and it's one of the reasons the Ethics Committee exists, even if they often fail to stop it. Some D-class are volunteers. Some are amnesia-dosed Foundation personnel who screwed up badly. Most are prisoners given a choice between death row and this, which isn't much of a choice. It's grim stuff. Researchers and scientists are the people actually studying SCPs, writing those delightfully creepy documentation files, and occasionally becoming SCPs themselves when experiments go wrong. You've got different levels here. Junior researchers are basically interns with doctorates, learning the ropes and hoping they don't get assigned to study the murder statue. Senior researchers have experience, publications, and probably some SCPs named after them. Lead researchers head up projects and get to make the really interesting, terrible decisions. Then there are specialists, memetics experts who study ideas that can kill you, thaumatologists researching magic, xenobiologists examining creatures that shouldn't exist. It's like a university, except the peer review process might involve reality restructuring. These people are smart, curious, and just desensitized enough to treat world-ending anomalies like really interesting research problems. They publish internal papers, attend Foundation conferences, and compete for funding to study their favorite horrifying thing. Academic life, but with more existential dread. Now for the unsung heroes. The Foundation employs thousands of support staff who keep everything running. Administrative personnel handle paperwork, scheduling, records, and all the boring stuff that somehow matters when you're running a secret organization. Someone has to file those SCP documentation reports. Maintenance and engineering staff keep facilities operational. They fix lights, repair containment cells, and occasionally deal with plumbing that's achieved sentience. These people have seen some stuff too. Medical staff beyond the department heads, you've got nurses, paramedics, psychiatrists, and therapists. The Foundation employs a lot of therapists. Wonder why? Not kitchen and janitorial staff prepare meals and clean facilities. Imagine being a janitor at a place where you might find an eldritch horror in the supply closet. These folks deserve hazard pay. Most support staff have lower clearance and don't know the full scope of what the Foundation does. They're told they work for a research organization, which is technically true, just with more tentacles than advertised. Wait, the SCP Foundation has an ethics committee? The same organization that feeds people to monsters and wipes memories like they're deleting browser history? Yeah, apparently they do, and somehow these people still show up to work every day. The Ethics Committee exists to make sure the Foundation doesn't go full supervillain. They review proposals, question whether that experiment really needs to involve 50 D-class personnel, and occasionally put their foot down when someone suggests something truly horrendous. Do they always succeed? Absolutely not. But they try. Bless them. These aren't bleeding hearts, though. They understand the Foundation's mission. They just want to make sure that when humanity survives, it's still worth saving. They approve amnestics, authorize necessary sacrifices, and draw the line at cartoonishly evil stuff. They're basically the Foundation's conscience, which is a little like being a lifeguard at a pool filled with lava. Technically, you have a job, but good luck.